Last time I gave you 4 bourbons that were an insane deal for the price, and I asked you to comment what you thought belonged on the list, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this video might have 4 even better deals. So this time around, we've got 2 bottles that come directly from the comments, one that's my personal pick, and we're gonna round it out with one that every time I post about it, people cannot believe the price. So let's dive right in. First up, and directly from the comment section, we've got Maker's Mark number 46. This is a wheated bourbon coming to you from the Maker's Mark distillery, of course. It comes in at 94 proof, and what makes this different from normal Maker's Mark is they finish it with French oak staves. So this has that normal candy sweetness that you get from a lot of wheated bourbons. In this one, it reminds me specifically of Twizzler, along with some of that oak darkness. But when you add that French oak in, you also get a little bit of a cinnamon and a little bit of a toasty sweet vanilla. And this bottle definitely deserves to be on this list because it drinks like probably a $50 bourbon, but you're gonna find it between 30 and 40 bucks, which is an awesome deal. Bottle number 2 is my personal pick, Green River Full Proof, coming in at 117.3 proof. This one is the standard mash bill, but actually the wheated mash bill is delicious as well. You can't go wrong with either. For this standard mash bill, you are gonna get a lot of standard bourbon notes, but it's not gonna stop at the oak and the vanilla. You're also gonna see some rye influence that reminds me of like a fresh cut hay. There are a little bit of floral notes that round it out and give it really nice complexity, and most importantly, it does it so cleanly. You don't get a lot of harshness. At 117.3 proof, this is actually worthy of that age-old cringy term, smooth. This is very smooth, it's fantastic. This deserves to be on this list because with that complexity, that cleanness, and the fact that it's only gonna run you about $50, I would put this up against some seriously high-end bourbon. I wanna grab this next bottle right here, but I can't until you comment what needs to go in the next video, and then go check out the Whiskey Noobs crew in the description below, because that's the only way that I keep all these lights on, is if you go check that out, and maybe for $3 a month, you can get all the reviews that I'm sent. For a couple more bucks, you can get even cooler stuff, and it'll end up being a really fair trade that you're gonna be really glad that you did. Maybe not, but go check it out. Okay, I'll grab the next one. Bottle number 3 was commented multiple times, and I honestly thought, is it really that good? So I had to revisit it. Evan Williams Single Barrel, coming in at 86.6 proof, and a mash bill of 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley. Of course, with single barrels, you're gonna get some variation, so it's important that you know my barrel was barreled on 12/10/15, and it is barrel number 115, bottled on May 1st, 2023. However, they're all gonna taste remotely similar, hopefully, and honestly, I understand the value here. First of all, this is a single barrel, so you get that fun kind of gotta catch 'em all mentality where everyone's a little bit different. Second of all, you're gonna get those nice standard bourbon notes, the oak, the vanilla, we talked about them before. You get the characteristic Heaven Hill flavor though as well, which for me is a little bit like a dusty barrel walking into an old rick house, that sort of a flavor. And you're doing all that, getting a single barrel for about 40 bucks? Okay, this does deserve to be on this list. We're on to my favorite bottle on this list because whenever I've posted about it in the past, I've gotten lots of people saying, I love that for the price. 30 bucks, maybe 35 on the high end. We've got Cooper's Craft Barrel Reserve. This is the 100 proof version of Cooper's Craft, but there's something that it's very important you understand about this bottle. This is a Brown-Forman brand. The mash bill is not disclosed, but apparently it's a blend of Early Times and Old Forester, and they put it in these special grooved barrels to get the extra interaction, and that's what gives it this nice oaky sweetness. It gives it this creamy flavor to it without getting too tannic. However, it's getting harder for people to find. I think they've cut back production like a ton on this. So if you enjoy it, you gotta let them know. This is on this list because it has beaten significantly more expensive bottles in blind tastings, and I don't wanna see it go away. It's complex, it's full-bodied, and if you think you've got a better one, comment it down below and maybe it'll make it in the next video. Also, if you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and let me know in the comments that you're enjoying this. Thank you guys all for watching Whiskey Noobs.